course, one of the downsides is that added to injury list tonight, we saw Peter O'Mahony, Mike Haley, Ollie Jaeger coming off injured.
Yeah, it's a frightening list when you look at it there and you look at the calibre of players within the setup, and of course they're going deep into the kind of depth chart, as they would call it. Tonight will be great, but you need some of these guys back. You really do. They're so important to the team. There's so many key players. And when you go and play in a squad like Leinster, because that's what Leinster are nowadays, it's not just a team. You need 15 to 23 to be really, really strong. So Munster will be hoping that they can get a few of those back as quickly as possible.
And of course, there's a couple gone in the Emerging Ireland tour as well, which is really another strain on the resources.
Yeah, and obviously, look, for those players who are gone on that tour, it's a brilliant opportunity for them to experience what it's like to wear the green jersey, get that elite coaching opportunities and learn from that. But also, there are opportunities here for Munster that they could be getting as well. And it's a difficult one, and all provinces are affected. But I do think in the long term for Ireland, it's a really, really good opportunity to develop young players at particular positions like front row. And so they'd be ready if the senior team come calling.
It's going to be tough for Munster though, isn't it, to handle this growing injury list and players being away. I know they've done it in the past, but like obviously the big tests that are to come both in Croke Park and in South Africa trip then.
Yeah, they're really unfortunate because actually Tom Farrell is fit, but he's only replacing this fellow in France, Frisch, right? So they're not getting an extra body, they're just getting a replacement. They brought in Abrahams and Kilgallen to give, I suppose, Daly and Calvin Nash a little bit of competition, a little bit of a rest at times. Now Daly, Abrahams and Kilgallen are injured, and if Haley's injury is serious, I mean, he's a key man for them, particularly how good Leinster's kicking game is next week. So, you know, the physios have got a huge amount of pressure on them to try and give Graham Rowntree as many fit bodies as they can to select from, because they're going to need to go to Dublin with some of those key players available.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to manage. How do you pick a team for Croke Park? We've seen the strength of the Leinster team that they had out today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's difficult, but it's been the problem, and I think that's the area that Leinster are ahead probably of most teams, with the exception of the French teams, having such depth of their squads. We saw John Hognett finishing the game on the wing, Munster at that level. And Bernard's right, there's an onus now. We've seen a brilliant performance on the pitch. Now you need everyone, like your support staff, your strength and conditioning, your physios, making every effort to get guys right, because for big games like that, you want your best players on the pitch.
Yeah, you got to dig deep. They really are going to have to go into that depth, aren't they? And bring everyone, not just the experienced players, but all the other guys, the younger guys, and some of who stood up tonight as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But look, it's, as I said, it's opportunities. So Jack Daly came on there at the end. Like, he hasn't had loads of opportunities with Munster. So, there might be a chance next week for him to step up. And what better way to do it than in a Leinster game and step in and have a big impact.
One thing I'd say about Graham Rowntree, he has been brilliant from picking from both the academy and the AIL level. And if you look at the likes of Mike Prendergast and Mossy Lower, they really do value the AIL. I know we're chatting about difference in terms of standards, but Fitzgerald showed it tonight. When you give a guy a chance and an opportunity, he could do something big. Of course, the air's going to get tight in Croke Park in front of a massive crowd against brilliant opposition, but I'd much rather Munster went that way with guys that are coming through from that grassroots level, putting in big performances like what we saw right there.
OK, well, let's hear from the Munster head coach now. Here's Graham Rowntree.
Well, Graeme, you were obviously looking for a response tonight. You got it. What pleased you most about that performance?
Our accuracy, to be honest with you, Murray. Physicality, accuracy, the conditions there were unbelievable, particularly second half into the wind. And some young men really showed up for us. Shea McCarthy's first touch of the game. It was excellent for us. And then we're chasing a bonus point, and you had a key moment in the lead up to that try. Brian Fitzgerald was excellent tonight. In the last minute of the game there, he's holding them up over the goal line. So that pleased me. We saw a reaction, but our physicality and our accuracy in the weather, they stand out for me.
Really excellent stuff. Unfortunately, a few more injuries. Ollie Jaeger, O'Mahony, Haley. The injury list adds. How are those guys doing? Is there a chance they'll make next week?
Murray, I think I've said this before. We'll see what Monday morning brings. We'll see how those guys pull up. We've got a huge game next week now, but it's about getting bodies on the field. So we'll have to modify what we're doing Monday, and we'll see what we can put on the field. But I've learned not to wait until Monday, not to worry about things till I get the scan results back and see how they are.
Yeah, well, everyone else is going to have that spring in the step. What's it going to take to go to Croke Park and beat Leinster? What kind of performance is it going to take?
controlling what we do, control the ball, and dealing with their threats. Access is always a challenge against them, giving them penalty access because they've got loads of plays around maul and breaking out of mauls. But we'll deal with that. We'll deal with that Tuesday. We'll dust ourselves down Monday, have a good review of this. But at the end of a challenging week, I'm really proud of what we've done there tonight.
And a last word on Craig Casey. He was player of the match tonight. Himself and Jack seemed to really control the game out there.
I thought Craig kicked exceptionally well in the conditions, but Craig gives an energy. He's in our leadership group. He's everything that a Munster player should be. So, very pleased for him.
Congrats tonight. Go well.
Cheers now. Cheers.
Yeah, Graham Rowntree, a much happier man this week. Before we go, let's take a quick check on the weekend results. Connacht bagged a 1-point win at Scarlets last night. Wins 2 for Glasgow and Lions. Ulster beaten by the Bulls in South Africa. Leinster won in Italy. Wins 2 for Sharks and Stormers. And this is how the table looks. Leinster on top ahead of Glasgow and Munster in third place. Connacht in fourth. And if we look at the second half of the table, Ulster there in 13th after that defeat in South Africa today.